I don't ever slow up, no I don't take pie. I got no love for theargist if you wanna play tough. I don't wanna hate this on 97%. Although I'm showable. I don't ever slow up. No I don't take shit. I got no love for the creepest if you wanna play tough. And wanna hate this although I'm showable. And make us faithful. No I don't ever slow up. No I don't take shit, I got no love for the thingest if you wanna play tough. And wanna hate this although we show up. And it makes it straight, man, everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I gotta then get it against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, isn't that spit and slow? Sticking fast like a roast, I can gas think I'm all pale less. But I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. And Lariest, you think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious. Because you are by the fake exterior and barrier. You know I'll always be a bit superior, get off of me. This ain't no humble rag, I want you to hear words. You can say them back, I want you to feel free from the change. It lasted, you believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I've never got anyone to tell. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow it up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. You make a statement, I don't ever slow it up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I'm gonna lay in the consequence, I'll be any competent. Mental health is confident, streams is a modest news. And I let you say the day, that's for you to take away. I can play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical. Something not as topical, grab it, I don't want you to go. Make yourself unstoppable, do you feel responsible? But they're always possible if you just believe you could. 1. Embracing solitude for personal growth. There is a quiet strength in solitude, a power that helps you discover yourself and find the true meaning of life. When faced with loneliness, many are often driven by societal pressure to seek crowds or a large circle of friends as a measure of self-worth. But have we ever questioned whether quantity matters as much as quality? As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This quote reminds us that only when we embrace solitude can we truly begin to learn and grow. A woman who chooses quality in her relationships understands that value does not lie in the number of names in her contact list, but in the depth of her connections. She does not chase after social gatherings or superficial conversations merely to fill a void. Instead, she seeks true friends, companions who can share meaningful conversations, provide support and inspire growth. These are the people who not only listen but truly understand her on a deeper level. Imagine yourself at a crowded party where everyone is laughing and chatting noisily, but you realize that all the conversations revolve around shallow topics: fashion, social media, or gossip. You stand in a corner of the room, not participating, and ask yourself, what am I doing here? This is not the connection you're seeking. When you recognize this, you courageously choose to leave the space. Knowing this decision might make you seem different. Your silence is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful statement that you value your time and energy. Being selective in relationships not only requires confidence, but is also an act of protecting your inner peace. Toxic relationships not only drain your energy, but also erode your self-esteem. A strong woman is willing to let go of those who no longer align with her journey. This is not selfishness, it is self-respect. In the solitude of her own space, she found freedom from societal pressures. No longer chasing standards that measure worth by the number of friends or popularity, she focused on building relationships that truly mattered. Instead of rushing to make friends, she patiently evaluated sincerity and compatibility with her personal values. This approach not only allowed her to forge deep connections, but also created a small yet meaningful circle, where she could be her authentic self without fear of judgment. Solitude is not a punishment but a gift. In that quiet space, she reflected on herself, gained deeper self-awareness and grew day by day. It was where she learned to live a life that prioritized depth over superficiality. A life more meaningful than all the fleeting glamour of society. Solitude is an opportunity, not a barrier. Dare to choose, let go and build a life worth living where every relationship is grounded in sincerity and meaning. 2. Developing emotional resilience. Loneliness, often perceived as a void of connection, is in fact a powerful mirror for transformation. For a woman without friends, the absence of external distractions can become a profound opportunity for self-discovery. Instead of viewing this state as isolation, she can see it as a refuge, a space where she is free to explore her inner world without judgment. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." In solitude she finds not loneliness but clarity. Take Emily's story as an example. Emily, a successful graphic designer in her late 20s, often felt left out when her colleagues shared stories about social gatherings. Her weekends passed in the quiet of her apartment, where her thoughts were her only companions. At first, this silence felt heavy, amplifying her insecurities and doubts. However, instead of seeking to fill the void with meaningless distractions, Emily learned to embrace solitude. She began journaling, delving into her aspirations, fears, and past experiences. Through this process, Emily uncovered truths about herself that had been obscured by years of busyness. One evening, in a moment of reflection, Emily realized that she had been pursuing a career path more aligned with societal expectations than her true desires. The stillness forced her to confront delayed goals and dreams that had been shelved. With newfound clarity, she decided to focus on establishing her own design studio, an idea she had previously dismissed as unrealistic. Unaffected by external voices, Emily built her confidence and carved out a path that felt authentically hers. The absence of friends gave Emily the opportunity to cultivate emotional resilience. By directly confronting her unspoken anxieties, she learned to face discomfort and transform it into strength. This process not only healed old wounds, but also reinforced her sense of self. She no longer sought validation from others, instead, she found strength in her independence. Emily's growth became a testament to the power of solitude in fostering self-awareness and emotional resilience. Moreover, solitude gave Emily the freedom to redefine her goals and values without societal pressure. She no longer needed to please others or conform to standards. She could freely shape a life path that aligned with her true self. This was the greatest gift of emotional resilience, the ability to stand firm in one's own truth, regardless of external circumstances. But emotional resilience is only part of the picture. How does a woman, after embracing solitude, continue to nurture the newfound strength? What habits and routines help reinforce self-worth on a daily basis? In the following content, we will explore the transformative power of self-care and self-respect. Practices that elevate her journey and strengthen her ability to face life's challenges. Join us as we delve into the rituals and philosophies that ensure her inner light never dims. 3. Self-care and self-respect. In modern society, women often face enormous pressure from superficial standards. You must be sociable, have a large circle of friends, and achieve success that is easily recognized by others. But what happens when you don't fit into that mold? A woman who understands her true value will realize that happiness and fulfillment are not products of conformity, but results of staying true to herself. Looking back at history, we know Marie Curie, the great scientist who won the Nobel Prize twice. In a male-dominated society filled with prejudice, she did not try to please the crowd or worry about fitting in. Instead, she chose to focus on her passion for scientific research and making genuine contributions. Marie's solitude was not a sign of isolation, but a time for exploration and dedication to what she believed in. Her journey is a vivid testament that when women choose to live authentically, they not only liberate themselves, but also inspire the world. Solitude is not a punishment, but a precious opportunity for women to understand themselves. In moments of silence, you can explore the deepest aspects of your being, question what truly matters, and discover your real purpose. A woman who no longer needs others' approval is freer to pursue her passions and shape her life direction. Additionally, Oprah Winfrey, one of the most powerful women in the world, shared that her lonely childhood years helped her build resilience and discover the future and the meaning of life. Oprah did not let her challenging past define her worth. Instead, she turned solitude into a foundation for uncovering her inner strength and forging her own path. Each person's journey is unique. There's no need to follow timelines or conform to societal standards. A woman who knows how to care for and respect herself understands that she doesn't need to compete with anyone. Your value isn't determined by others' recognition, but by being able to look in the mirror and proudly say, "I'm living true to myself." What do you think about the importance of living authentically and taking care of yourself? Have you ever experienced a moment of overcoming societal pressure to find inner peace? Share your story in the comments, as your experience might inspire other women. 4. Building inner strength through boundaries. In a world filled with constant events and pressures from others, women can find peace and strength in their own inner silence. This not only helps them face adversity, but also enables them to remain resilient in the face of life's challenges without being overwhelmed by emotions. This silence is not avoidance, rather it is the ability to confront emotions with clarity, learning to manage them instead of letting them control oneself. One crucial element in this process is emotional independence. Women learn not to rely on external validation or recognition. They find their source of strength and comfort within themselves. This brings about a lasting inner power that no one can shake. Emotional independence helps them not only to stay grounded, but also to recognize their true worth, not from the approval or the power of the world, or affection of others, but from their own integrity and virtue. Silence is not merely an external state of quiet, it is also a powerful tool for establishing and protecting personal boundaries. It helps women recognize what truly matters to them and empowers them to refuse things that could harm their inner peace. A truly strong woman does not feel the need to please others at any cost. Instead, she knows how to maintain self-respect and only engage in relationships that genuinely bring value and happiness into her life. There is a famous story about Maya Angelou, one of the most renowned authors, social activists, and strong women. Maya never allowed criticism or disrespect from others to affect her life. When she faced difficulties and was rejected in her career, instead of giving in or quitting, she learned how to maintain inner calm and keep rising. She knew that true strength does not come from societal recognition, but from self-belief and knowing her own worth. She wrote in a famous speech, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." This quote highlights the importance of building respect and self-worth through actions and emotions. Stillness is not only a strategy to protect oneself, but also a way to develop inner strength. When a woman knows how to maintain stillness and emotional independence, she will have the ability to face the world without being influenced by others' expectations or opinions. This not only helps her maintain inner peace, but also enables her to build a stronger and more autonomous life. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This becomes even clearer when we apply Stoic principles to our lives. Self-control, self-respect, and the establishment of personal boundaries are not only ways to protect ourselves from harm, but also the first steps toward building a life of freedom and lasting happiness. 5. Trusting your own instincts. When a woman chooses to go alone, it is not loneliness or weakness, but a strong decision to rediscover herself. In a world full of noise and chaos, we often forget that silence and alone time are precious gifts that everyone needs to grow. Being alone does not mean a lack of friendship or connection, but rather an opportunity to look inward and explore the deeper layers of oneself. Anna, a woman who was once easily influenced by others' opinions, witnessed the power of going alone in her journey of self-discovery. Every morning, she dedicates time to herself, no longer rushing to follow advice or seek validation from friends. Instead, she listens to her thoughts and emotions, learning to face her fears, anxieties, and imperfections. It is in that silence that Anna clearly discovers what truly matters: inner peace, strength from within, and the ability to make her own decisions without needing external validation. From these moments, Anna learned that personal growth does not only come from professional success, but also from the ability to control emotions, master the mind, and maintain self-esteem. Self-care is not just about external actions like going to a spa or beauty treatments, it is a process of nurturing the body, soul, and intellect. It is about prioritizing activities that recharge energy, help the mind relax, and maintain inner peace in life. Walking alone also helped Anna learn how to trust herself and listen to her intuition. She no longer felt the need to pursue what others expected of her. Instead, she made her own decisions based on her feelings and trust in what she could achieve. This has made her live more confidently, more strongly, and feel more fulfilled in her own life. Self-care is not a selfish act, but an investment in oneself. By setting clear personal boundaries, Anna learned how to say no to demands from others when they intruded on her peace. Self-respect and self-worth do not only come from what she allows herself to do, but also from her courage to stand up and defend what she deserves. And when she realized her value, the world around her began to change. And now, before we continue our journey, may I ask you for a small favor? If you found what was shared today truly helpful, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't hesitate to click the subscribe button right now. Why? Because every time you like and subscribe, you're sending a strong message to YouTube. Hey, this content is worth it. This helps spread these positive energies to more people, especially those who may need a little encouragement just like you. So, let's spread the joy and continue walking with us on this journey of self-improvement and finding peace in life. 6. The myth of loneliness and self-discovery. 7. Loneliness. A word that seems heavy, but is it really a negative concept, or is it just a form of misunderstanding? Loneliness doesn't always equate to lack. In fact, in this world, true relationships only exist when they come from a place of choice, when others find you not because they need you, but because they truly want to share their lives with you. A real friendship is not built on the foundation of scarcity, but on the richness of both the soul and the mind. Facing loneliness can be a major challenge, but it is also a precious opportunity for personal growth. Moments without friends or loved ones by your side are spaces where we can learn, reflect, and master ourselves. You might realize that, right now, you are fully complete without needing anyone's validation or praise. You don't need to depend on the presence of others to feel valuable. Those moments help you see more clearly what truly matters in life, and most importantly, understand yourself better than ever before. Loneliness is the chance to face yourself when there are no external influences like conversations, judgmental looks, or unnecessary advice. When it's just you and your inner world, you begin to discover parts that were never explored before. Aspects that you may have hidden away or avoided facing due to fear, insecurity, or even unfulfilled dreams. Loneliness, when understood correctly, is a mirror that reflects the hidden corners of the soul, where you can understand and love yourself without needing the approval of others. Loneliness is also a great opportunity to realize things you have never paid attention to before. These could be unverified thoughts, forgotten emotions, or dreams buried under the pressure of societal expectations. When you no longer have to chase validation from others, you can take the time to observe, understand, and reassess yourself more deeply. It is a process of self-discovery where you not only recognize your weaknesses, but also uncover hidden strengths you had never noticed before. Take someone like Susan Cain, the author of Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. Susan lived in a world where extroverts were celebrated, but it was through solitude and silence that she realized her inner strength. It wasn't the loneliness itself, but rather the quiet space that allowed her to reflect on herself and find strength from within. She discovered that silence and introspection are not signs of weakness, but rather a potential source of personal strength. Loneliness is an opportunity for us to reassess what truly matters without being clouded by societal expectations. When you stop seeking validation from the outside, you begin to love and accept yourself, and that is the first step toward building self-esteem and inner strength. This deep understanding of loneliness leads us to another important topic: freeing yourself from social expectations. Once you realize that self-esteem and personal growth do not depend on others' judgments, you start to ask, how can I break free from social expectations and live my own life? The answer lies in understanding and accepting that you can live a free and independent life, unbound by the rules and pressures of society. Let's explore this further in the next section. 7. Freeing yourself from social expectations. We get caught up in the cycle of societal expectations, causing us to forget ourselves. A woman living amidst the demands and pressures from others often feels as though she cannot breathe and cannot live true to herself. But when she separates herself from these demands, when she learns to face and become aware of herself through inner observation, she will realize that true freedom comes from freeing herself from the need for societal validation. This process begins by identifying and observing the patterns in the mind. Instead of reacting to unstable thoughts or emotions, she learns that she doesn't have to act on them. Separating herself from feelings or desires is an important step toward achieving inner freedom. She realizes that she is not her thoughts and emotions, but the observer of them. This awareness opens up a vast space within her soul where she can live without being attached to things beyond her control. In solitude, she began to rediscover long-forgotten hobbies and passions. These moments alone were no longer a time to feel lacking, but an opportunity to reconnect with herself and reignite her creative joy. She learned that she didn't need the recognition or approval of others to feel valuable. It was in the silence and stillness that she realized the only genuine relationship was the one with herself. And from there, she could build healthy connections with others without depending on their judgments. Inner strength doesn't require the companionship of others. She no longer felt the need to fill the quiet moments with the presence of others, because she understood that steadfastness and peace come from within, not from external factors. She could return to herself, explore true values, and not be swayed by outside opinions. All of this came from accepting that loneliness is not something to be avoided, but rather an opportunity to reclaim freedom and break free from society's expectations. Only when she lived without needing validation from anyone could she experience the true likeness of freedom. And as Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A clear example of applying this philosophy is the life of the writer Virginia Woolf. Throughout her life, she faced heavy social expectations and spiritual loneliness. But it was precisely in solitude that she found freedom and remarkable creativity. Her works, especially Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse, are a testament to her journey of self-exploration and liberation from the shackles of society. Virginia Woolf's story is vivid proof of the power of freeing oneself from societal expectations and truly finding strength in living according to one's own values. She demonstrated that when we stop seeking approval from the outside and focus on aligning with ourselves, we can achieve great things and live a meaningful life. 8. Reclaiming your worth beyond validation. In life, the absence of friends can sometimes make a woman feel abandoned, lacking those who validate and reinforce her decisions. Without the consensus of her friend group, without quick affirmation for her choices, she feels as though she is walking alone in a foreign world, where everything seems to lack confirmation. However, in the absence of this agreement, she begins to realize that her choices do not need anyone's approval. The absence of friends actually creates an opportunity for her to explore and define decisions based on her own reasoning and personal values. When no longer seeking validation from others, she gradually learns to listen to and trust her inner voice. Although society sometimes imposes certain standards and expectations, she starts to realize that happiness and growth do not come from the approval of the crowd, but from being true to herself. Each decision, whether big or small, now reflects her personal integrity, not an answer to external questions. She no longer fears being judged or criticized, for she knows that she has the right and the ability to take control of her life. This process is not easy. Sometimes doubts still creep into her mind. Is she on the right path? Is her decision truly the best one? However, each time she overcomes the doubt, she feels stronger and more confident. Independence has helped her no longer feel the need to seek affirmation from those around her. She feels free in her own choices and is no longer afraid to face uncertainty. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Mia, a girl who has experienced many failures in relationships, once felt that her life lacked recognition from her friends. She often doubted her decisions and always tried to please others, especially when facing loneliness. One time she decided not to attend a social gathering because she felt it didn't align with her values. She realized she had found something even more valuable than acceptance, self-respect and inner peace. After that decision, Mia began living more autonomously and was no longer afraid of being judged. She discovered that, no matter how the world changes, her peace and happiness only come from living true to herself. Giving up the search for recognition from others does not mean living in isolation or coldness, but living freely, without being influenced by external judgments. Mia realized that she could love and empathize with others without needing their approval. She found a deeper connection with the people around her, not through flowery words, but through sincerity in every action. Everyone, can you feel the power of living true to yourself? Share your thoughts and let me know. Have you ever made such a decision? Leave a comment below this video and let's discuss more ways we can be free, self-respecting, and live a meaningful life. 9. What true friendship really means. We are often caught in a race to seek acceptance from society, always trying to fit in with trends and the expectations of others. But do we truly understand what genuine friendship is? In reality, friendship is not about depending on others to feel valued, but about a deep connection built on the foundation of self-respect, personal freedom, and mutual understanding. True friendship is not about filling our lives with relationships to avoid loneliness. Instead, it is a connection based on respect and understanding. When a person realizes that their value does not depend on recognition or criticism from others, they live freely, no longer worried about societal expectations. True freedom comes from pursuing personal passions and curiosity without fear of judgment. This is the moment when one begins to live for oneself, not for others. Confidence does not come from external validation, but from understanding one's own worth and feeling complete inside. A woman no longer feels ashamed of failure. Instead, she learns from her mistakes and becomes stronger each day. This sense of confidence is the result of a journey of self-discovery where every challenge is no longer a burden, but an opportunity to grow and mature. True friendship must come from a place of completeness, not from scarcity or a desire to fill the emptiness inside. It is a connection between two people, each confident and free, not bound by dependency or expectation. These relationships are built on the foundation of respect and trust, not out of need or lack, but from a deep and natural connection. For example, Oprah Winfrey, who has overcome many challenges in her life, from a childhood full of hardships to building a famous media empire, Oprah is not only a symbol of success, but also a testament to inner strength and independence. She does not need validation from others to define her worth. Instead, she has built friendships and relationships based on respect and deep trust, not for personal gain or dependency. Oprah has created a fulfilling life not because of her connections with others, but because of her deep connection with herself. From these stories, we see that true friendship is not about transactions or compromises. It is the connection between two individuals who understand their own value and live authentically. This relationship is not based on needs or lack, but is built on freedom and respect. It is a friendship born from understanding and mutual appreciation, with no room for dishonesty or personal agendas. As we near the end of this journey, we will explore how to build friendships from a place of abundance, where each individual feels free, safe, and complete. Let's move on to the final section to learn about 10. Creating friendships from abundance. There is a profound truth that few recognize. True relationships can only be built when we start from a place of abundance, not from a sense of lack or a need to possess. A woman who has no friends, living in solitude, can still find prosperity in relationships if she learns to trust herself. This is how Stoics apply their philosophy to life. They do not seek perfection from others, but find wholeness within themselves. In the stillness of solitude, this woman has learned an important lesson about self-confidence. She is not afraid of the absence of friends because she knows that she is an independent individual. Rather than seeing the lack of friends as something sorrowful, she views it as an opportunity to explore and understand herself better. It is because of this self-confidence that she can easily open up and trust in new relationships without needing to impose conditions or force anything. A woman with such a rich soul does not feel the need to control or possess her friends. She understands that each relationship is a sharing between two independent individuals, not a tool to fulfill each other's emotional needs. Friends come and go, but she does not feel compelled to hold on. What matters to her is appreciation, not ownership. She knows that, for a true friendship to exist, each person must have their own space and the freedom to grow. This reflects part of the profound perspective within Stoic philosophy. Humans are not beings that need to depend on others to feel complete. What each person needs is self-acceptance and inner growth. She doesn't just build relationships from an emotional surplus, but also treats her friends with generosity, expecting nothing in return. Every act of kindness she offers to others is a giving, not a way to receive. Brené Brown, the renowned sociologist and author, is an exemplary figure of building relationships from a place of abundance. Not only is she known for her research on vulnerability and courage, but she is also a model for creating authentic relationships that do not depend on perfection. Brené Brown does not try to control or possess her friends. Instead, she respects each individual's independence and fosters a culture of connection based on mutual understanding and acceptance. She shares that one of the core values in her relationships is honesty and the acceptance of imperfection, which helps her build lasting friendships from a place of emotional surplus. True friendship is a reflection of ourselves. When we learn to love and accept ourselves, our relationships with others also become harmonious and no longer restrictive. True friends will appear not because we need them, but because we can offer them respect, love, and understanding. We don't have to maintain relationships through effort, but simply through sincerity and kindness. Friendship from a place of abundance is a reward for the self-acceptance and personal growth that we achieve. Thus, together we discovered the power of the silent gaze and how it can help maintain self-esteem, peace, and emotional control in any situation. Stoic philosophy has shown that reactions or words are not always the best way to face challenges in life. Sometimes it is the silence and steadfastness of the soul that is the strongest answer. Here, which lesson impresses and contemplates you the most? If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about how Stoicism can help you lead a peaceful life, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear how you deal with negative people in your life. Share your experiences in the comments below. And let's continue the conversation about how we can all grow stronger in the face of negativity, because I can make a huge difference in your life. And remember, wisdom is life itself. See you soon, young Mark Aurelius.